I think Bharat 2.0 is us regaining the pride that we have in the country, building the foundation, stopping to adopt frameworks of the West and building for who we are and making India proud on a global stage. And one of the most complex regulatory landscapes in the world, you very quickly learn that it's not velocity, it's patience and building with responsibility. So I think that's the biggest lesson. And I think India is one of the largest celebrations, India is one of the largest celebrators of human joy.
That's true.
Weddings alone are a 5 lakh crore business and growing at 12% per annum and, crazy numbers. Very simply to build innovation for and from India, for the rest of the world and make India proud and do things where we can proudly say this is Indian.
Good morning, this is Chintan Rani reporting from the Bharat Conclave 2.0 red carpet. So here we have Mr. Anubhav Khanna from Madira Ventures. So how are you doing today, sir?
Very good. Thank you so much for having me.
Great. So we'll be starting the question answers round. So first we'll be asking you some questions. On basis of that, we would like you to share your insights on. And the second will be a fun round where we'll be asking you some rapid fire questions. Are you ready for it?
Yeah, excited.
Great. So let's start with the first question. So how was the experience at Bharat 2.0 Conclave and what makes the Conclave different from other business events you have attended?
Yeah, I think the key difference is a lot of other events talk about what people have achieved, which is very inspiring. But what you get here, I think, and I'm learning is what is to be and what is to be built, which gives you perspective. And I think that is much more important, especially as we are building for the future of the country.
That is true. So what does Bharat 2.0 represent to you as a leader and why do you think it matters today?
I think Bharat 2.0 is us regaining the pride that we have in the country, building the foundation, stopping to adopt frameworks of the West and building for who we are and making India proud on a global stage. And that's what Bharat 2.0 means.
Great. That's an interesting answer, sir. So I would like to know a little bit about your journey and specifically what is the toughest lesson you've learned from your business journey so far?
Many tough lessons. But I think the toughest one that I've learned is something very personal. Not about an industry or business, but rather about the importance of patience. So I come from a world of consulting and Silicon Valley unicorns, where velocity and speed were the ultimate measure of success. However, when you're building in an industry like alcohol that we're doing with Madira Ventures and Jigger, in one of the most complex regulatory landscapes in the world, you very quickly learn that it's not velocity, it's patience and building with responsibility. So I think that's the biggest lesson, and I think that's a big shift that I'm taking in my business journey as I go forward.
Great, thank you for your insights. So, what is one opportunity in Bharat that people are still underestimating according to you?
I think I'm very strongly a believer of the Indian festival economy. So think wedding, celebration, I think India is one of the largest India is one of the largest celebrators of human joy.
That's true.
Weddings alone are a 5 lakh crore business and growing at 12% per annum and, crazy numbers. But most companies and brands look at it, celebration, as a seasonal iteration of their products and not as a foundational belief or brief for what they're building. And I think whoever does that, we are trying to do that with Jigger as well, is where, a lot of growth and potential lies for the future.
What is the core or main purpose of your venture, sir?
Very simply to build innovation for and from India, for the rest of the world and make India proud and do things where we can proudly say this is Indian.
Interesting. So what are the predictions that you have for Bharat in next 5 to 10 years in the industry that you work in, sir?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think 3 things happen.
Okay.
Number 1 is we stop, importing cultural frameworks, start building our own and exporting them. So, for example, in alcohol, we forever have looked to the West and said, what do they drink? Whiskey will make Indian whiskey. Gin will make Indian gin. Vodka will make Indian vodka. However, that will change. So, for example, with Jigger, what we've done is we've created something completely new that was meant for India. A product that is delicious straight up with Indian taste, has value for money and is convenient. Something that hasn't been done abroad. And that's the one key thing. So cultural frameworks, we start building our own and they start to export. I think the number 2 and very most number two, and very importantly, is the importance of tier two and tier three. So I think we will get to a place where we stop looking at them as emerging markets and really appreciating them as the growth engine that they truly, truly are. And I think finally, this is very interesting that I think about this a lot. Is we are building a cohort of founders and talent in the country that I think will be unparalleled across the world. So when we think about the gaps in infrastructure, we think about capital constraints, we think about the diversity of the consumers that we deal with. Like in India, a state represents more diversity in the entire continents.
Agreed.
Right? So when we are building, I think we are getting ready to not just become leaders on a world stage, but rather world changers.
Yeah, that's true. We are truly diverse. Like every parts of it, we see differences, we see changes. So let's move on to the next fun section.
Yeah.
That is the rapid fire. Are you ready for it?
Always.
Okay. So the first question will be one overrated and underrated leadership quality according to you, Mr. Anubhav.
Overrated passion
Okay.
burns out as soon as the road gets tough. Underrated patience. Nobody teaches it. The world almost punishes it, especially like the world of venture capital.
That is true.
But that's the only quality that compounds with time. So
I truly believe, like, patience is also one of the assets that a leader or a business person should have.
right.
So, this is my favorite question. So, which is one go-to movie or web series that you watch in your free time?
12 Fail any day, that movie. And because building something from 0 to 1 as a founder, so not only, so for example, with me, I'm not just building a new alcohol brand, I'm building a whole new category that has never been done
That's
before. What happens is nothing goes to plan, right? So when things don't go to plan, I think for any founder, when you're in that journey, there are a lot of moments where it feels like the world is crumbling down.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
And in that moment, as they do in the movie, it's very important to just take a deep breath, step back, and as they say, restart.
yeah.
Just
Like
keep
it
going
does
at it. Just keep going up. That's all you can do.
Exactly. So, one leader you love to have coffee with.
Yeah. One leader I love to have coffee with. I would say Jeff Bezos, but not the Amazon Jeff Bezos.
Okay.
I would like to talk to the Blue Origin Jeff Bezos. So same guy, but building a space tech startup. He started working on it in the year 2000. For 15 years, he worked on it in science. It took 21 years for the first manned space flight. Built the company with a motto that basically translates loosely into step by step, ferociously. Because when you're building something that can have such a big impact, a generational impact, you have to build one step at a time, ferociously, and there is no rushing.
That's true.
So I would love to talk to him.
That's a very interesting answer. One reason leaders should attend Bharat 2.0 Conclave.
I think for perspective.
Okay.
It's very good to sort of look back and say, this is what we did. But there is a lot of work that we need to do. And I think putting yourself in a room with leaders who are doing exactly that gives a lot of perspective and opportunity for personal growth.
And it also offers a lot of learning opportunities as well.
Exactly.
So, one piece of advice for upcoming business leaders.
One piece of advice. So I wish somebody had given this to me before. Confidence and clarity
Okay.
are not prerequisites to starting a business. Everybody wants that. But those are two things that you don't start with. Those are things you earn as you do the work. So, and most leaders are scared. Most people don't know how it's going to be done. But as Krishna says to Arjun in Mahabharata, as Krishna says to Arjun in the Bhagavad Gita, you don't need to know how to get that. You just need to know that it will and have faith that it will and just show up, earn that confidence and clarity.
Okay. That's a very beautiful answer.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And it was lovely having you, Mr. Anubhav. Hope to see you soon and enjoy your day.
Thank you so much.